Governor Gavin Newsome to face recall election as Republican-led effort hits signature goal, LA Times. Propelled by growing voter frustration over California's response to COVID-19 pandemic, a Republican-led drive to remove Governor Newsome from office collected enough voter registration to qualify for the ballot, state official reported Monday, triggering for only the second time in state history a rapid-fire campaign to decide whether to oust a sitting governor. Recall backers submitted more than 1.495 verified voter registration, equal to 12% of all ballot cast in the last national election, meeting the minimum threshold to force a special recall election, according to a tally released by Secretary of State Shirley Weber. 2.5 years ago, Newsom won the governor office by the largest margin in modern history, capping the telegenic Democratic steady rise to the pinnacle of California politics that began in 1996 when San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown appointed him to the city's Parking and Traffic Commission. So when you do that, this is what happens. What are the voters in California responding to? To the way you managed a crisis called COVID. Now the people get to vote. Kai, can you pull up that article I sent to you? Pull up that article I sent you. This is interesting to look at. And this kind of leads me to the next two links that I sent to you. That's the Reuters one. But let's not go to Reuters yet. First, go to the Newsom article that I sent you that shows what percentage of Democrats supported and didn't support. But anyways, Adam, what do you think about this?
I mean,
with Newsom.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple different lessons here. Number one is a fall from grace. I mean, he had the largest margin of victory since when did they say? Since 96? So you're talking about a guy who was beloved, I don't want to use that term too loosely, but very liked. And now even Democrats are like, yeah, dude, this guy, I mean, come on, man. I mean, not so much. And I think ultimately your point is crisis management. How are you handling a crisis? You're going to be dealing with the crisis no matter what state you're in, no matter what country you're in. How do you respond to that? Like how many times? It's kind of like, you can fall, you get knocked down 10 times, get up 11. He mismanaged this crisis completely. I know we joke he was the U-Haul Employee of the Year, and that he was what's the laundry, the restaurant in San Francisco he was eating out. He was telling people.
So what caused this? What caused this? One is hypocrisy. You're telling me to stay home, but you're at French Laundry. Okay. You're telling me not to put any parties, but you're going to a party with 350 people with no one wearing a mask. Okay. You're messing with Elon Musk, and you're telling them they can't work what Elon Musk calls you out. Then you eventually say, okay, you guys can get to work, and then Elon Musk leaves. You have the number one podcaster in the world, a guy named Joe Rogan. You end up losing him. Okay. You got a guy whose Oracle is sitting there. The guy's upset, so he, has plans of leaving. You got companies that are wanting to leave their headquarters to a different place. You got a city like San Francisco that the world loves going to stay for vacation, one of our favorite places to go to. Now it's a mess. There's a website saying what places poops sitting around when you're walking the city of San Francisco. There's a poop watch website for San Francisco. How pathetic is that?
Crazy.
And you're the governor, not the mayor, not a congressman, not a senator. You're essentially the president of the 6th largest economy in the world, and you've screwed up the last 12 months.
Yep.
And you were so excited to impeach the president twice. Guess what? Now it's coming back. Now it's coming back at you, and you don't like it. And here's what he had to say yesterday. If you can pull up his tweet, I send a tweet to you as well, Kai. I don't know if you have it. His tweet says the Republican recall. By the way, I want to actually watch that video as well. So hold the video. We'll go to it in a second to raise the volume. I want everybody to watch the video as well. Yeah, but hang tight on that video. You can actually, the Republican recall threatens our values and seeks to undo the important progress we've made from fighting COVID to helping struggling families, protect our environment, and passing common sense gun violence solutions. There's too much at stake. He doesn't get a lot of likes. He get a ton of comments, not enough tweets. Can you flip the screen? There you go. To do it that way, if you can make that screen bigger and play the video, and tell me if this is a motivational video or scaring the hell out of you video. What kind of a movie is this? Watch this. Go ahead.
Newsome, anti-vaccine QAnon extremists, violent white supremacists like the Proud Boys who attacked our nation's capital on January 6th, and the same right-wing Republican politicians who supported Donald Trump's attempt to overturn the election. Of course, paid for by the Republican National Committee. Instead of helping fight the pandemic, national Republicans are coming to fight Californians. Stop the Republican recall. It's a power grab.
Knock it off.
Who's behind?
They're not coming. So where's the responsibility? Why are they not going after other liberal states?
Yep.
Why are they coming after you? Okay. So Matt, what do you think about this?
So to answer your first question, it is a fear-based type of ad campaign.
Kai, go back to the main article, please. Go ahead.
You know, when I was stationed in California as a United States Marine, we loved Southern California, Dana Point, Newport Beach area, San Diego. And one thing it's always befuddled me as I was growing my business. I got out the military, started growing my business in California. Is Chicago's got some horrible traffic, but L.A., damn,
Yeah.
that is some traffic out there.
Legit.
And all I'm thinking when I think about one word, when I think about California, I think one word. I think bottleneck. So many things are bottlenecked over there. It's sadly poorly run. Nobody trusts the public school system there in California. Everything's about the private school in California. When you think about these businesses and even parts of Hollywood, who's also recruiting people out of California is Tyler Perry.
Mm-hmm.
He's recruiting Hollywood to shoot movies in his Georgia
Atlanta?
location.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful
In Atlanta.
campus, by the way.
And so when you're thinking about that, you have this great opportunity. I think you mentioned something a lot when you're coaching us, PBD. You said you forget what it's like to be the new guy. I wonder if you forgot what it was like to be that new guy in 1996 when he was appointed to the Parking and Traffic Commission. I wonder what it feels like to be just a normal citizen again. Because sometimes when you have that element of power and you're sitting there in Sacramento, you're sitting there as a governor, number one in charge, you kind of forget what it's like to relate to the brand new person there struggling in that LA traffic. My thoughts.
I can see that. What are you saying? Anything
I think,
else?
You know, being that I'm a Florida boy, born and raised in Miami, and I lived all throughout Florida, I actually had this conversation with Ricky, and last time when we had dinner, and I basically completely understood why he's so anti-Democratic Party, where I was like, dude, my point is this. There's a big difference between a Florida Democrat and a California Democrat. Just like there's a big difference between being a California Republican and an Alabama Republican. So I think part of the problem in this country is that when you're so far left or you're so far right, the best ideas don't win. The best ideas typically win in Florida because we're a purple state. And people are like, well, you know, I could go this way. I can maybe think this way. And a 10% movement of the voting bloc could actually determine an election. You could be the best Republican candidate in California, and unless your name is Arnold Schwarzenegger, it's going to be very hard to win anything because I'm guessing 70% of the voting constituency in California is going to be Democrat. So you have to convert 20% just to get to 50%. So
Kai, can you get to the bottom of the article that shows how many Democrats voted for this? It's the link I sent you. Is this the one I sent you? Yeah. Keep going. There it is, right there. Okay, flip the screen to go on the big screen, guys, instead of being on me. Make it a little bit bigger. Go Control Plus. Doesn't do it. Okay, there you go. How California and different parties would vote on the Newsome recall. As of March 30th, only 40% of likely voters said they vote yes to remove governor, while about 8 in 10 Republicans would vote to remove Newsome. 8 in 10 Democrats would vote to keep him in. Look at that. All likely voters, 40% want this guy out. 15% of Democrats. So that video they said about, it's only Republicans, Republican funded. No. 15% of Democrats in the state of California, they want you out. 79% Republicans, I understand, want you out. 42% of independents want you out. By the way, you know which of those three matters the most to get elected?
By far and away, independents.
Of course it is. And 42% of them want you out. They're not talking about that ad that they propose. Republicans this. No. 42% of independents want you out. So it's not a Republican thing. It's an independent thing. Who wins president elections? Independents.
Correct.
Independents, the vote you want to win the president election.
Correct.
That tells you everything here.
Right.
So they can say anything they want with the videos and all this other stuff. Nope, it's not just the Republicans.
Well, it's
also
like
the
what you always talk about, that 46% of people are going to vote Democrat. 44% of people are going to vote Republican. That's it. Like, is that the number? 40, 46,
I think it's 44, 42.
44, 42. Point is that it's low to mid 40s. You're locked in, bro. You're not a free thinker. It is what it is. It's baked in the cake. I don't want to hear what the other side has to say. I don't give a shit if they're right, if they're wrong. I'm voting for Trump. I don't give a shit. I'm going for Biden. It is what it is. And I think what our country needs and yearns for, and any time that we talk about a third-party candidate, would you vote for The Rock? Would you vote for McConaughey? Well, may fucking be, because independent thinking is probably the best course of action at this point. Because if you're just too dead set on an ideal and not, on a candidate and not an actualized set of ideals, then you can't be swayed, and your free thinking doesn't matter.
That'd be an interesting thing to see if The Rock actually actually runs for president, and how many votes he would actually bring. Would you think he'd run in the Democratic platform?
I think it would be a Democrat.
Okay.
And I think he should probably have a Republican vice president.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, that'd be smart. I'd like to see something like that.
So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.